Welcome to Wisdom-Trek with Gramps. I am Guthrie Chamberlain, and we are on day 2927 of our trek. The purpose of Wisdom-Trek is to create a legacy of wisdom, to seek out discernment and insights, and to boldly grow where few have chosen to grow before. The title for today's Wisdom-Trek is The Crown of Instruction and the Trap of Ill-Gotten Gain. On our previous episode, on day 2925, we stepped over the threshold into the Book of Proverbs, establishing the fundamental cornerstone of all true knowledge, the reverent fear of the Lord. We discovered that Solomon wrote this royal manual to train leaders, giving us applied skill, chokmah, to navigate life's complex trails. Today, as we advance on to day 2927 of our trek, we move from the grand royal courtroom right into the intimate setting of the home. Here, the very first lesson in Solomon's curriculum is delivered not by a distant monarch, but by loving parents. Having spent over 50 years focusing on and studying biblical wisdom, and having accumulated 70 years of life experiences, seeing families thrive and seeing lives unravel, I can assure you that the foundational lessons learned at home determine the trajectory of your entire life. Let us open our ears to the tender yet urgent counsel found in Proverbs chapter 1, verse 8 and verse 9. My child, listen when your father corrects you. Don't neglect your mother's instruction. What you learn from them will crown you with grace and be a chain of honor around your neck. In these two verses, Solomon frames true education as a sacred, generational partnership between father and mother. Notice the language he uses. Listen when your father corrects you, and don't neglect your mother's instruction. In the ancient Near Eastern world, and specifically within the ancient Israelite divine council worldview, the family was not merely a social convenience. It was designed as the primary earthly sanctuary. Yahweh established a family unit as the foundational training ground where young image bearers learned covenant loyalty, moral discipline, and respect for authority. When parents align their hearts with the Creator, their home becomes an earthly reflection of heaven's counsel, transmitting life-giving wisdom to the next generation. Solomon promises that when a child embraces this homegrown wisdom, it becomes like a garland or a crown of grace upon their head and a chain of honor around their neck. In ancient times, royal jewels and golden chains were worn by dignitaries to signal authority, dignity, and high status. Solomon is making a stunning point. True honor is not bought with money or seized through raw ambition. It is cultivated through humble, obedient listening to wise instruction in the home. Over my 70 years on this earth, I have seen this proven time and time again. The young men and women who honor the disciplined wisdom of their upbringing walk through life with an undeniable, graceful dignity that no earthly wealth can ever purchase. Yet, as soon as a young person steps outside the protective doorway of the family home, another voice begins to shout from the dark alleys of the world. Solomon immediately prepares his student for the intense spiritual and cultural warfare awaiting them in the public square, grouping together the ominous warning found in Proverbs chapter 1, verses 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. My child, if sinners entice you, turn your back on them. They may say, "Come and join us. Let's hide and kill someone. Just for fun, let's ambush the innocent. Let's swallow them alive, like the grave. Let's swallow them whole, like those who go down to the pit of death. Think of the great things we'll get. We'll fill our houses with all the plunder. Come, throw in your lot with us. We'll all share one purse." Look at the terrifying, predatory nature of this temptation. Solomon doesn't beat around the bush. He exposes the raw, ugly anatomy of peer pressure and wicked enticement. These enticers, these sinners, do not offer honest labor or disciplined craft. They promise instant wealth through violence, ambush, and exploitation. Notice the graphic, horrific imagery they use. Let's swallow them alive, like the grave. Let's swallow them whole, like those who go down to the pit of death. In the ancient worldview, the grave, Sheol, and the pit represented the chaotic, ravenous underworld, ruled by dark, rebellious spiritual powers that crave destruction, bloodshed, and disorder. When men gather to prey upon the innocent, they are literally acting as earthly agents of those dark, chaotic principalities. They lure the naive youth with two powerful, intoxicating lies: solidarity and instant riches. They cry, "Throw in your lot with us. We'll all share one purse. Over my 50 years of studying wisdom and observing human nature across 7 decades of living, I have watched countless young people fall into this exact trap. The temptation to belong to a powerful group, combined with the lure of effortless, shortcut wealth, has destroyed more lives, ruined more legacies, and shattered more families than almost anything else on the trail. The gang, the predatory business scheme, the corrupt political circle, they all use the same siren song. But Solomon gives the simplest, most direct command possible in verse 10. If sinners entice you, turn your back on them. Don't negotiate. Don't debate. Don't linger in their presence. Turn around and walk away. Having exposed the seductive rhetoric of the violent gang, Solomon now pulls back the curtain to reveal the inescapable, self-destructive reality of their chosen path, linking together the contiguous thoughts in Proverbs chapter 1, verses 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19. My child, do not go along with them. Do not set foot on their path, for their feet rush into evil. They are swift to shed blood. How useless to spread a net where every bird can see it. These men lie in wait for their own blood. They ambush only themselves. Such are the paths of all who go after ill-gotten gain. It takes away the life of those who get it. Solomon delivers a masterclass in spiritual cause and effect. He warns, do not set foot on their path. In Hebrew thought, life is pictured as a path or a journey, a trek. Every single decision you make takes you one step further down a specific trail. Once you take that first step onto the path of compromise, your momentum accelerates. Their feet rush into evil. They are swift to shed blood. Moral decline is rarely a sudden cliff. It is a steep, slippery slope that drags you faster than you ever intended to go. Then, Solomon uses a brilliant, parabolic illustration from nature. How useless to spread a net where every bird can see it. Even a simple bird has enough sense to fly away if it sees a hunter spreading a net in plain sight. But these greedy, violent men are actually stupider than birds. Why? Because in their blind, delusional rush for plunder, they fail to see that the net they are spreading is going to catch them. Solomon reveals a profound cosmic truth. These men lie in wait for their own blood. They ambush only themselves. In Yahweh's universe, moral evil contains the seeds of its own destruction. The divine order is structured in such a way that those who dig a pit for the innocent end up falling directly into it. Solomon summarizes this universal law of wisdom in verse 19. Such are the paths of all who go after ill-gotten gain. It takes away the life of those who get it. The Hebrew word for ill-gotten gain is betza, wealth extracted through extortion, violence, dishonesty, or greedy shortcuts. In my 70 years of life, I have seen many people acquire betza. They thought they were getting rich, but in reality, that dishonest wealth became a spiritual cancer that consumed their peace, destroyed their health, fractured their homes, and ultimately took away their very life. Ill-gotten gain promises freedom, but it delivers a coffin. As we reflect on these powerful 12 verses of Proverbs chapter 1, the choice presented to us on life's trek could not be clearer. We can choose the quiet, graceful crown of parental instruction rooted in the fear of the Lord, or we can choose the fast, treacherous path of greedy shortcuts that leads straight into a trap of our own making. True legacy is never built on ill-gotten gain. It is built step by step through humble discipline, integrity, and covenant loyalty to the Creator. Choose the path of wisdom today. Guard your feet from the alleys of compromise, and walk with your head held high in the grace of God. If you found this podcast insightful, please subscribe and leave us a review. Then encourage your friends and family to join us and come along tomorrow for another day of Wisdom Trek, Creating a Legacy. As we take this trek of life together, let us always live abundantly, love unconditionally, listen intentionally, learn continuously, lend to others generously, lead with integrity, leave a living legacy each day. I am Guthrie Chamberlain, reminding you to keep moving forward, enjoy your journey, and create a great day, every day. Join me next time for more daily wisdom.